So, hello everybody, welcome back to our CMA classes. So, we were doing our PGBP chapter. Here I am with one depreciation question, and in this lecture we are going to cover it, and with it we are going for actual cost, okay, also. Okay, so yes, we are going for depreciation question, and this time you're gonna ask me ki yaar, it's very easy. And let me tell you one thing, simple question was asked in last previous year just to compute the depreciation of this plant and machinery. Okay, so sometimes what we used to do, we leave the easiest topic, and that question will definitely come in our exam, whatever you're going to leave it. Okay, if you think it's going to be difficult, no, let's not cover this part, so definitely that's going to come. And if you think it's super easy, I'll do it later on, and later will never come. Okay, so and ultimately what's going to happen, that question is going to come in our exam. Okay, so don't ever try to leave anything first thing. Okay, so yes, I'm here with the depreciation question. Okay, so let's go for it, guys. Now, computation of depreciation and investment allowances compute the quantum of depreciation available under section 32 of the Income Tax Act 1961 and any other benefit available in respect of following items of plant and machinery purchased by PQR Textile Limited, which is engaged in manufacture of textile fabric and backward area of West Bengal during the year ended 31st 3 2023. Let me tell you one thing. Earlier there was depreciation rate for these backward area, okay, like Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, West Bengal, these are backward areas, so the depreciation rate was 35%. Okay, now it's not. Okay, not given to them. Okay, so hope so now we have no more calculation about this, everything is similar, same to every state. Okay, so yes, let's go for it now. New machinery installed on 1st 5 2022. Acha, what are something which we have to keep in our mind? First, whether the machinery, the plant and machinery is installed or put to use more than 180 days or less than 180 days, first thing. Okay, and second, depreciation, we know every machinery, every plant and machinery, every equipment is going to get the depreciation. Okay, but what about the additional depreciation? As I told you in the last lecture, what about the additional depreciation? Additional depreciation can only claim on what? Plant and machinery, first thing. Okay, not on even second hand plant and machinery, not on even vehicle. इतनी बात मुझे याद है, बहुत अच्छे से याद है. Okay, so yes, let's go for it, guys. Now, so here they are saying new machinery installed on 1st 5 2022, 1st May 2022. So this means it's put and installed and used for more than 180 days. ठीक है जी. Okay, now new windmill purchased and installed on 18/6/2022, that's 22 crore. ठीक है, these amount are in crore. Okay, ठीक है, so definitely it's going to be at what rate? Windmill was of 40%, not for the 15. For normal plant and machinery, remember, no, 15% was the depreciable rate. ठीक है, what about the windmill? It's going to be 40%. Okay, इतनी बात I know. Okay, lorries for transporting vehicle to sale depot. ठीक है, purchase and put to use in July 2022. आ गई ना बात. ठीक है, we know for this depreciation would be allowable. What about the additional depreciation? Are we going to get the additional depreciation in this vehicle? No, Baba, no, है ना. So as I told you, additional depreciation would not allowable on vehicles. ठीक है, तो I know depreciation would be allowable in this case. What about the depreciation? Additional depreciation नहीं मिलेगा. Okay, now these are the items purchased after 30 November 2022. So let me write one thing here so that we'll be more clear. ठीक है, these are used for less than 180 days. ठीक है, which means कितना percent depreciation? 50% of the depreciation. ठीक है, not full amount is going to get. ठीक है, not the full depreciation rate is going to be get here. ठीक है, so and here this was the more than 180 days. ठीक है, तो full depreciation मिलेगा यहाँ पे. Okay, so let's go for the other part. Fork lift truck use inside the factory. ठीक है, lift trucks, they are fork lifts actually. ठीक है, so these are machinery. Okay, and these are used inside the factory. remember, हाँ जी. So are we going to get the additional depreciation? सोचो, then we'll see whether we are right or not. ठीक है. So yes, that is 4. Okay, and as I told you, these are used for less than 180 days. ठीक है ना. तो मुझे पता है कि depreciation rate is going to be 50% of what the actual depreciation. ठीक है. For example, 15% का depreciation rate है, so we'll get 7.5. What about the 40? Then we'll get 20. ओके इतनी बात मुझे पता है. ओके नाउ कंप्यूटर इंस्टॉल इन ऑफिस प्रीमिसेस. ऑफिस प्रीमिसेस दोबारा बोलेंगे. हाँ. सो हाँ, office premises. ठीक है. I know about the computer install and what is going to be rate 40%, but here I know we will only get 50% of 40. That's going to be 20% depreciation rate. So what about the additional depreciation? Are we going to get this computer installed in office premises? Now, ठीक है. So third says about the computers installed in factory. ठीक है. Are we going to get the machinery, plant and machinery which is installed in factory or used in factory? बताओ. हाँ जी. For in the last lecture I told you, it is only going to be available on the plants and machinery which is installed in factory, not in the guest house, है ना, not for the residential use, not even in the office premises. इतनी बात समझ में आई. हाँ जी. सो हेयर आई विल गेट एडिशनल डेप्रिसिएशन ऑफ दिस होल्डिंग. नाउ हेयर इज अनदर पार्ट, न्यू इम्पोर्टेड मशीनरी, दैट्स ऑफ 12 करोड़. ठीक है. बट देर इज़ वन नोट हेयर. न्यू इम्पोर्टेड मशीनरी अराइव्ड एट चेन्नई पोर्ट 30 March 2023 they are talking about that this machinery is imported and arrived at Chennai port. ठीक है. and it is not used on that day. ठीक है. which means this is not used up to 31st March 2023. now they are saying it's installed on 3rd of April 2023. so let me, you have to tell me first. so we are going to get the depreciation of this new imported machinery or not? first thing. ठीक है. जल्दी सोचो, जल्दी बताओ भाई. हाँ नहीं मिलेगा. क्यों नहीं मिलेगा? फर्स्ट थिंग, this is going to be included in block of asset. Is it clear now? So we are going to take this amount, ठीक है, this 12 crore in block of asset to calculate the block of asset, but we are not going to get any of the depreciation amount. simple बात है, जब depreciation नहीं मिलेगा तो additional depreciation कहाँ से मिलेगा, है ना. हाँ जी. So other thing, all other items were installed during the year ended 31st 2023. The company was newly started during the year. Also compute the WDV of the various block of asset. Will your answer be different if the above SSC were partnership firm? ठीक है. इतनी बात मेरे को समझ में आ गई. Okay. Now I'm going for block of asset here. ठीक है. So here I have taken this amount. okay, let me take the different pen here. now let's go for the calculation guys. ठीक है. here I have new plant and machinery installed. this would be included in block of asset as it is. okay. what about the new wind mill purchase? okay. here I have made the segregation of the plant and machinery on the basis of rates. ठीक है. so here I am having the plant and machinery of two rates, 15% and 40%. okay. hope so this part is clear. okay. so with this let me draw here. ठीक है. this 15% depreciation and 40% for कौन सा वाला, wind mill, computers, इन सब के लिए. ठीक है. so these are the plant and machinery criteria as we know. ठीक है. I have taken plant and machinery acquired during the year which is 84. ठीक है. दिस इज द कैलकुलेशन ऑफ ब्लॉक ऑफ एसेट. इतनी बात समझ में आई. हाँ जी मुझे आ गए. सो दिस इज न्यू प्लांट एंड मशीनरी विच इज इंस्टॉल्ड. व्हाट अबाउट द न्यू विंड मिल परचेज एंड इंस्टॉल? आर वी गोइंग टू टेक दिस इन द ब्लॉक ऑफ एसेट? डेफिनेटली. ठीक है. 180 डेज से मोर है. सो वी आर गोइंग टू टेक इन विच पार्ट? 40% वाला पार्ट, ये वाला पार्ट. ठीक है. सो हेयर इट इज न्यू विंड मिल. लेट मी मेक इट दिस. ठीक है. तो क्लियर हो जाएगा. न्यू विंड मिल परचेज्ड एंड इंस्टॉल्ड ऑन 18/6/2022. दैट इज 22 करोड़. ठीक है. एंड दिस पार्ट इज ऑल्सो क्लियर. ठीक है. हाँ जी. सो लेट्स गो फॉर द अदर पार्ट. lorries for transporting goods to sale depot purchased and put to use in July 2022. Let me be very clear, this is the vehicle, not plant and machinery. ठीक है. So are we going to take it? Definitely in block of asset we are going to take it. So here I have mentioned lorries for transporting goods to sale depots. ठीक है. which is 3 crore purchase and put to use in July 2022. इतनी बात क्लियर है ना, कोई डाउट नहीं है ना? हाँ, इट वॉज ईजी बीजी. ठीक है, लेट्स गो फॉर द अदर पार्ट विच इज द आइटम परचेज्ड and used for less than 180 days. ठीक है, it was purchased after 30 November 2022. Okay, what of the forklift truck used inside the factories? ठीक है, okay, so here yes, forklift trucks which is used inside the factory is taken and it's going to be taxable, depreciation rate is going to be 15%. ठीक है, but remember what I told you, it's going to be 50% of 15%, that's going to be 7.5%. let me mark here. ठीक है, वी आर गोइंग टू टेक, एक सेकेंड गाइस, वी आर गोइंग टू टेक another pen. Okay, we are going to take 7.5% as it was used for less than 180 days and the rate is going to be 15%. तो 15% का 50% is going to be 7.5%. ठीक है, हाँ. Now the computer installed, let me take this part, and they are talking about the computer installed in office premises first. ठीक है, that's of 1 crore. Second, computer installed in factory, ये वाला part. ठीक है, so these both are the computer. ठीक है, and it's going to be taxable at the rate of depreciation at the rate of 40%. as I told you कि it is used for less than 180 days. definitely क्या होगा हमारा depreciation rate 20% ना. हाँ जी, so here I have taken combine them. ठीक है, so ये रहा अपना ये वाला part. This is computer acquired during the year for 3 crore. Hope so this part was clear now. Yes, now the remaining part is new imported machinery. As I already told you, are we going to take this amount? Are we going to take the value of this new imported machinery? Definitely we are going to include this in block of asset. ठीक है, so yes, I have taken here the new imported machinery of 12 crore. इतनी बात मुझे समझ में आ गई? हाँ जी, बट विल नॉट गेट द एडिशनल डेप्रिसिएशन भी नहीं मिलेगा. एडिशनल डेप्रिसिएशन तो दूर की बात है. सो हेयर वी आर नॉट गोइंग टू गेट द डेप्रिसिएशन ऑफ दिस न्यू इम्पोर्टेड मशीनरी. ओके, लेट्स टेक द total value of these two plant and machinery. 15% का and 40% का. 84 crore, 3 crore, 4 crore and 12 crore, 103 crore. ठीक है, so what about the depreciation rate of 40% plant and machinery, computer and windmill? 22 plus 3, that's going to be 25. Easy busy. ठीक है, now what are we going to do? Do there is something mentioned, do the question is have mentioned something about that the company have sold any of the asset? No. ठीक है, so the other step is actually to mention to deduct the value of if the asset is sold. ठीक है, during the year. So here we have to reduce the asset which is sold during the year. As the question is not mentioned, have not mentioned anything about it, so we're not going to take any of the amount. ठीक है, so this is going to be the written down value before charging depreciation. इतनी बात समझ में आए. So now we are going to compute the value of depreciation as the value was 103, as the value was 103 and 25. ठीक है, so on this I'm going to compute. Okay, the normal depreciation and additional depreciation. Okay, so as I know about, let us go for this part first. Okay, let us go for this part first, how I have computed it. Okay, so in this 103 crore, ठीक है, there are two things mentioned. We are not going to include these two things. ठीक है, first thing, the newly imported machine of 12 crore. Do you remember? हाँ. Second, वो लिफ्ट वाला, ठीक है, लिफ्ट वाला ये वाला पार्ट देखिए, फॉक लिफ्ट ट्रक्स. ठीक है, as this was, definitely we are going to take the additional depreciation amount. Definitely we are going to take, if it is used in factory, definitely it is used in factory. ठीक है, okay, but I have deducted this part because this rate is different, as the normal depreciation rate is going to be 15%, but in this case we are going to take for this 4 crore the fork lift truck inside, which is used inside the factory. As I told you, let me go back in the question. ठीक है, this part they are saying the forklift truck used inside the factory which is purchased after 30 November 2022, which means the depreciation is rate is going to be 7.5%. इतनी बात मुझे समझ में आ गई ना. So for sure from this block of asset, the 103 we have to deduct these two amount. ठीक है, first is going to be the न्यूली इम्पोर्टेड मशीनरी विच इज़ ऑफ 12 करोड़ एंड देन 4 करोड़ ऑफ कौन सा दी लिफ्ट वाला पार्ट विच इज़ यूज इन फैक्ट्री. ठीक है, सो डेफिनेटली वी आर ऑल्सो गोइंग टू गेट द एडिशनल डेप्रिसिएशन बिकॉज इट्स यूज इन फैक्ट्री नॉट इन द ऑफिस प्रेमिसेस. इतनी बात समझ में आ गई. हाँ जी. सो 103 फ्रॉम दिस वी आर गोइंग टू रिड्यूस 4 करोड़ एंड 12. ठीक है, we'll get 87. 87 का 15% is going to be 13.0305. ठीक है, let me write here. ठीक है, don't get confusion here. So this part का आया अपना depreciation 13.05. 103 करोड़ में से what I have reduced 4. ठीक है, 4 of lift वाला, then 12 of वो newly machinery because it was actually installed after 31st March 2022 or whatever the year was. ठीक है, so it was installed in actually 4th of April month. ठीक है, so definitely we are not going to include this part. ठीक है, okay. So yes, depreciation rate इतना तक समझ में आ गया ना. Hope so इतना तक clear था. Okay, so let's go for this 4 crore. As I told you, it's going to be 7.5 है ना. 4 का 7.5 which is going to be 0.3. ठीक है, and the total is going to be 13.35. this is what 13.35. अब बात समझ में आए. 4 करोड़ का 7.5% as it was used less than 180 days. It was installed and put to use after November. ठीक है, so the rate is going to be 7.5%. clear है ना. हाँ जी. and 15% for the remaining for that 103 करोड़ में से ये 4 करोड़ मैंने हटा दिया. समझ में आ रही है ना बात. let me say it again. मुझे लग रहा है समझ में आया नहीं है. let me say it again. okay, from this 103 करोड़, ठीक है, 4 करोड़ was of lift वाला part. this is of 7.5%. ठीक है, depreciation rate, and the remaining is going to be 15%. okay, but what about there one more thing which we are going to deduct. First is of 12 crore, that newly imported machinery which was installed in April. ठीक है, so yes, hope so this part was clear. For these it's going to be 15%. ठीक है, and this is one block of asset, that's why we are taking in this. ठीक है, so hope so this part was clear. now let me go back guys, just a second now. okay, so hope so this 13.35 is clear to you. okay, now let's go for the other part. so I have taken this part. okay, I have taken this part is clear. ठीक है, we are not going to get this part. ठीक है, what about the new windmill purchase and install? Are we going to get the normal depreciation? For sure we are going to get the normal depreciation, है ना. so yes, ये रहा. ठीक है, depreciation on new windmill purchase and install on 18/6/2022. 40% is going to be depreciation rate. 22 का 40% is going to be 8.8. इतनी बात clear है जी. हाँ जी, मुझे clear है. okay, so let's go for the other part where the computer is installed. so I have taken this part also. okay, and the computer acquired during the year is going to be 3 crore. ठीक है, again what I told you, is it going to be, are we going to get the depreciation rate, fully depreciation rate? नहीं. 40% का 50%, 50%, it's going to be 20%. ठीक है, so here the 3 crore का 20%. ठीक है, which means 40% का 50% is going to be 20%. so that is going to be 0.6%. ठीक है, this is the as depreciation on at the rate of 20% of on the computer which is put to use for less than 180 days, and 50% of 40% into 3 crore is going to be 20% of 3 crore. ठीक है, 0.6. so hope so this part was clear ना. इतनी बात समझ में, तो we have calculated the depreciation amount. okay, so let's go for the additional depreciation, how I'm going to compute it. okay, so here I know the depreciation amount. ठीक है, let me go back. ठीक है, 84 का ठीक है, 84 का एडिशनल डेप्रिसिएशन मिलेगा ना. हाँ जी. सो व्हाट अबाउट द लोरी का एडिशनल डेप्रिसिएशन? अच्छा, लेट मी टेक द डिफरेंट पेन so that we would be more clear. Are we going to get the additional depreciation of this? Yes, we are going to get the additional depreciation of this. What about the lorries for transporting? Are we going to get? Vehicle है भैया, additional depreciation नहीं मिलेगा. ठीक है. What about the forklift truck used inside factory? Are we going to get? As it is used in the factory, so we are going to get the additional depreciation of this. Additional depreciation of imported machine, depreciation ही नहीं मिला, additional depreciation कैसे मिलेगा, नहीं, ठीक है, ओके ओके, हाँ, न्यू windmill purchase and install, ठीक है, are we going to get the additional depreciation here? Yes, 22 का भी मिलेगा. So what about the computer acquired during the year? Let me go back to the question first, ठीक है. Here they have said that the computer is installed in the office premises which is of 1, ठीक है, but about the factory it's going to be 2. So we are going to get the additional depreciation of this, ठीक है, only 2, not about the 1, ठीक है. So let's go back guys, let's do the calculation. As I told you, new plant and machinery which is of 84 crore, 84 crore, and what is about the additional depreciation rate? If the machinery is put to and used for more than 180 days, then additional depreciation rate is going to be 20%, otherwise 50% of 20% is going to be 10%, ठीक है जी, इतनी बात समझ में आ गई. हाँ, so here the plant and machinery as it was used for more than 180 days, so the 84 का 20% is going to be what? Let's do the calculation. That's going to be 16.80%. And what about the windmill? 22 crore का, 22 crore का 20% is going to be 44. इतनी बात समझ में आ गई ना? Yes, समझ में आ गई. So what about this fork? Fork लेफ्ट वाले की बात कर रहे हैं, which was used. Let me go back. ये रहा, टेंशन नहीं लेने का, ये रहा, ये वाला पार्ट इज डन, राइट, ये वाला पार्ट इज डन. इसमें से मैंने बोला कि वी आर ओनली गोइंग टू गेट दी फैक्ट्री वाला पार्ट का एडिशनल डेप्रिसिएशन, ठीक है, वी आर ओनली गोइंग टू गेट दी ये वाला पार्ट का एडिशनल डेप्रिसिएशन, okay. So we are not going to get additional depreciation of 1 crore, okay. So this, for this, this is a fork lift truck used in factory, as it is used in factory, so definitely we are going to get the additional depreciation, okay. तो चलिए, let's go back, okay. So here the 4, but as it is used for less than 180 days, so yes, 4 का 10%, which is going to be 0.4. And what about the computer? 2 crore, not 3 crore, not 3 crore, ठीक है, तो हाँ जी, 2 का 10% again 0.2%, okay. So the total, let's go for the total guys now. 13.35, then 16.8, then 0.4, that's going to be 30.55, ठीक है, for the 15% वाला, okay, 0.6, 8.8 and 4.4, 0.2, that's going to be 14, okay. Let's go back. This was the calculation of depreciation, ठीक है. So we were here at last. WDV before charging depreciation, as we know the depreciation rate is 30.55, okay, and 14, ठीक है. So we are going to reduce this from the WDV value, ठीक है. So 103 minus 30 point, just a second, 103 minus 30.55, that's going to be 72.45, and 25 minus 14, that's going to be 11, ठीक है. So that's it for this question, ठीक है. This is going to be the WDV on 1/4/2023. इतनी बात समझ में आ गई ना, ईजी था, ठीक है. एक्चुअली कन्फ्यूजन पता है कहाँ होता है? आर वी गोइंग टू गेट द एडिशनल डेप्रिसिएशन फॉर द प्लांट एंड मशीनरी विच इज़ एक्वायर्ड इन ऑफिस प्रीमिसेस for the vehicle, or the second hand machinery, or the imported machinery which is acquired after the ending of accounting year, okay. So this is basically a confusion which creates in this part. So now let's go for the actual cost guys, as per section 43 subsection 1. Here actual cost of asset, portion of cost met by any other person or authority is going to be computed, ठीक है. So the purchase price of asset, however, where an asset assessee incurs any expenditure for acquisition of the asset or parts therein respect of which the payment or aggregate of payment made to person in day otherwise than by account paid check, again other than, they are saying other than, ठीक है. So here if it is made other than account paid check or the check drawn, ठीक है, or bank pay, just a second, bank pay, account pay, bank draft, ठीक है, or any other electronic clearance system, ठीक है. If it is made other than these things, मतलब they are not using this part, ठीक है. If the payment is expenditure is done other than this, ठीक है, which means cash, ठीक है, they are talking about cash, and that cash exceed 10,000, such expenditure shall not form part of actual cost of the such asset. This is as per section second provision of section 43 subsection 1, ठीक है. So in this we are going to add some of the cost. First is and reduce some of the cost, ठीक है. First they are talking about the additional cost attributable to bring asset to its present location and working condition for its intended use. For example, let's take the freight, ठीक है, or the loading amount, insurance amount and all, ठीक है. Expenses incurred for acquiring the asset and example is freight, insurance, loading, handling, etc. expenses incurred in connection with installation of the asset. This is basically, and in this we are going to add the interest on capital borrowed in connection with the acquisition of asset before the asset is put to use. हमने कहीं ना कहीं पढ़ा है, कौन सा वो CFR वाले में, राइट. हाँ, where the interest of the capital borrowed in connection with the acquisition of asset before the asset is put to use is also going to be added here, ठीक है. Let's go for section 8. This is all about section 8 here, ठीक है. Is so let me read it very quick. For the removal of doubt, it is hereby declared that where any amount is paid or payable as interest in connection with acquisition of asset, so much of such amount is relatable to any period after such asset is first put to use, shall not to be included and shall be deemed never to be have included in connection in actual cost of such asset, ठीक है. So this would be included here, ठीक है, whatever the interest amount which is put to use, ठीक है, before it was put to use. Okay, hope so. Install and put to use, ठीक है. Okay, so इतनी बात मेरे को cleared है as per section explanation 8. Let's go for the other part. We are going to reduce some of the amount, also some of the cost, and this is first part. They are saying the any of the duty of excise of additional duty of custom levied on it and including its cost in respect of which claim of sandward credit has been made and allowed under sandward credit rules. So here, if the amount of, let me say it again, amount of duty on excise duty की बात कर रहे हैं, ठीक है, of custom levied on it, ठीक है, and where the sandward credit has been made. So they are saying where the sandward credit has been made and allowed under the sandward credit, ठीक है. So this is all about where the already amount of excise duty, ठीक है, which is levied, first thing, ठीक है, and where the sandward credit is already made, ठीक है, under कौन सा sandward credit rules. So this is going to be reduced. So let's go for this explanation 9, guys. हाँ, ये रहा explanation 9. For the removal of doubts, it is hereby declared that way an asset is or has been acquired or after the first day of March 1994 by the SSC, the actual cost of asset shall be reduced by the amount of duty of excise or additional duty which is leviable under section 3 of Custom Tariff Act 1975, ठीक है, in respect of which claim of credit has been made and allowed under the Central Excise Rules 1944, ठीक है. So this part is to be reduced from the total amount, ठीक है. This would be form of the actual cost. इतनी बात मुझे समझ में आ गई? Yes. So yes, let's go for the last part where they are saying the portion of cost of asset is to be again reduced, ठीक है. कौन सा वाला पार्ट? सब्सिडी वाला पार्ट की बात कर रहे हैं क्या? Let's go and check out whether they are saying it or not. Portion of cost of asset which has been met directly, indirectly by central government, okay, or state government or any other authority under any law or any other person in form of subsidy. Subsidy की बात कर रहे हैं, subsidy, grant, whatever it is in the form, ठीक है, by whom? By the central government, by the state government or any of the authority under any law, ठीक है. Okay, grant or reimbursement. However, if such subsidy or grant or reimbursement is not reliable to the acquisition of the asset, then the amount is to be reduced from the cost of the asset. Okay, first they are saying if the grant if the subsidy, if the reimbursement is received by the SCC, okay, by whom? Who is the authority here? The central government, the state government, or any of the authority which is made under the law, ठीक है, under the law, ठीक है, okay. So if such subsidy, such grant, such reimbursement is actually not directly relatable to the acquisition of the asset, then the amount is to be reduced from the cost of asset. If it is actually related to the acquisition of asset, then definitely it's going to be add back, ठीक है. So if it is not, then definitely it's going to be reduced, ठीक है. So amount to be deducted is total amount of subsidy, grant, reimbursement into cost of asset and total cost of asset for which subsidy of grant reimbursement is actually given as per explanation 10. So let's go for explanation 10 here, guys. Let's check what are they saying here, okay. So where portion of cost of asset acquired by the SSC has met directly or indirectly by the central government, state government, or any of the authority established under the law, or any other person in form of subsidy, grant, reimbursement by whatever name called, then so much of cost as relatable to such subsidy, grant, reimbursement shall not included in cost of the asset to the SSC. इतनी बात समझ, सेम वही चीज़ इस मेंशन हियर, ठीक है. प्रोवाइडेड दैट वे दी सच सब्सिडी और ग्रांट और रीइंबर्समेंट इज ऑफ सच नेचर दैट इट कैन नॉट बी डायरेक्टली रिलेटेबल टू द एसेट एक्वायर्ड, so much of the amount which is bear to the total subsidy, reimbursement of grant the same proportion as the such asset bears to all the asset in respect of which reference to which the subsidy or grant reimbursement is so received. इतनी बात मुझे समझ में आ गई, होप सो ना. ओके, सो दिस वाज ऑल अबाउट दी एक्सप्लेनेशन 10. 8, 9, 10 के बारे में इज क्लियर, ठीक है. लेट्स गो फॉर द अदर. दिस would be added or less. Increase or decrease in cost due to exchange rate fluctuation as per section 43A, ठीक है. Provides that if due to exchange rate fluctuation liability toward purchase of asset decreases, then the amount by which the liabilities or increase or decrease along with the decrease in rate at time of making payment shall be added or reduced from the actual cost of the asset or capital expenditure which is so incurred, ठीक है. From this we will get the actual cost of the SSC asset for the purpose of section 43(1). So what? First we have taken the purchase price of asset, ठीक है. In this, if the expenditure is incurred more than 10,000 rupees, ठीक है, but is it in the form of these thing, ठीक है. If it is it in the form of account paid check drawn or bank account paid bank draft or electronic clearing system or by any other bank account or through such other prescribed electronic mode, ठीक है. They are saying other than first things, ठीक है. And if that expenditure exceed 10,000, then it is to be what? It is to be included, ठीक है. In this, that cost, that direct cost which is attributable to the asset, ठीक है, which is actually brings to the location, ठीक है, which bring asset to its location, ठीक है. So for let's go for the example freight, ठीक है. तो अपने को बात समझ में आएगा, they are talking. So that is going to be included in the actual cost of the asset, ठीक है. Then the interest borrowed put to use before वाला, हाँ जी, it's going to be added again, ठीक है. We know CFR में अपन ने पढ़ाई चीज़. Okay, what about the excise duty? If the central credit is already claimed, then again it's going to be reduced here, okay, as per explanation 9 की बात हो गई. Okay, if any of the grant is received by the government, ठीक है, CGSG or any of the authorities, let's say, ठीक है, which is made prescribed under the law, ठीक है, and if that is not relatable to the acquisition of the asset, then it's to be reduced. If it is, then add back, ठीक है. So here we have reduced as per the proportion, and then last as per the fluctuation rate, ठीक है, due to the exchange rate of fluctuation section 43A के हिसाब से we are going to add or reduce, ठीक है. Whatever is mentioned in the question, we'll check the scenario and we'll go for any of them, ठीक है. Add back or less is to be reduced, ठीक है. Then we'll get the actual cost of the asset for the purpose of section 43(1). So yes guys, I was little bit quick, hope so, ठीक है, but I have to complete this lecture, ठीक है, complete this chapter एज यू नो, ठीक है, एंड PGBP बहुत बड़ा चैप्टर है, सो वी हैव टू बी क्विक. ओके, सो येस, आई एंड दिस लेक्चर. ओके, एंड दिस वाज द फॉर्मेट ऑफ एक्चुअल कॉस्ट गाइस, ठीक है. बट इन द अनदर लेक्चर आई एम गोइंग टू टेल यू some of the scenario, ठीक है, and with that what is going to be the actual cost of that scenario, ठीक है. So hope so you get something guys in your mind यहाँ पे, ठीक है. And yes, I'll tell you one thing, if you are होप सो you're doing your revision first of all, ठीक है. इफ़ नॉट, गलती कर रहे हो भैया, ठीक है. सेकेंड ऑफ ऑल कि डोंट लीव एनी ऑफ द चैप्टर, एवरीथिंग इज़ डैम इम्पॉर्टेंट, ठीक है. इफ़ यू आर थिंकिंग कि PGBP इज़ अ वेरी ह्यूज लार्ज चैप्टर एंड सेम एज द कैपिटल गेन इज, ठीक है. इफ़ यू आर थिंकिंग टू ऑप्ट एनी ऑफ वन चैप्टर, सो प्लीज़ डोंट डू इट, बिकॉज एग्ज़ाम में पता नहीं क्या आए, कैसे आए, हो सकता है बहुत इजी आए, है ना. सो अपने को कुछ नहीं छोड़ने का, कुछ भी नहीं छोड़ने का. एवरीथिंग इज़ डैम इम्पॉर्टेंट, एवरीथिंग इज़ रियली 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 इम्पॉर्टेंट, ठीक है. एंड डोंट एवर लीव एनी ऑफ द ईजी टॉपिक. आई से एक बार रीडिंग लगा लो, फिर निकल जाओ भले, है ना. बट तो क्या है ना, विल हैव समथिंग हेयर. अदरवाइज क्या होता है ना, वी सिंपली से कि विल डू इट लेटर, विल डू इट लेटर, एंड विल नेवर गेट टाइम टू डू इट लेटर on. So yes, that's it. Hope so you are doing everything, you are covering everything. Okay, we'll meet soon. I'll back again, ठीक है. तब तक के लिए पढ़ते रहो, मस्त रहो. ओके, एंड थोड़ा बहुत खुश रहो, है ना, थोड़ा बहुत फ्री रहो, है ना. एट द एंड जाके थोड़ा सा रिलैक्स रहो, दैट्स इट, ठीक है. पैनिक मत हो, फालतू में पैनिक होगी कुछ नहीं मिलेगा अपने को. दैट्स इट, एंड विल मीट इन अवर नेक्स्ट वीडियो. तब तक के लिए क्या करना है, हिट द लाइक बटन, जो कि करते नहीं है, सब्सक्राइब करते नहीं है, शेयर करते नहीं है, तो मैं क्यों बोल रही हूँ, है ना, ठीक है. होप सो आपको मेरी बात समझ में आ गई. इतनी कोई हौच पौच नहीं है, आप आराम से कर लीजिएगा, बट डू योर रिविजन, दैट्स इट गाइस, ठीक है. सो टिल देन विल मीट इन आवर नेक्स्ट वीडियो. टिल्स गाइस, बाय बाय.